Greetings everybody. So today I'm going to talk about avocados. I went to a couple of markets here in San Jose, and anytime I saw an avocado that I did not recognize, I picked it up. Avocados are a big thing here, and you don't just see the typical Haas avocado, you see a bunch of different types. You see big ones, small ones, green ones, dark ones, and today I think I've got a pretty nice selection of 5 avocados that I'm going to compare next to each other. Avocados originated in Latin America, and you can really see that when you walk around in San Jose. All the restaurants, markets, you see avocados all over the place. It's big stuff. They're still kind of expensive here, but they are everywhere. And fun fact about avocados, especially if you are immature like me, is the word avocado comes from the Aztec word ahuacatl, and that translates to testicle tree. In the United States where I'm from, we basically only have one variety of avocados, the Haas Avocado, which was discovered by Rudolf Haas, which is kind of an unfortunate name. It sounds very similar to a very bad man from history. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about avocados. And I have a great selection here. I've got big ones, small ones. It's going to be great. Let's cut these open. So this one here looks the most like a regular Haas avocado. You can see though that it's got a very bad seed to flesh ratio. But besides that, looks about right, light in color. Really soft. It's like melted butter. That's like a Haas. I'm pretty sure that's a Haas avocado. I'm not gonna go like too far into detail about what a Haas avocado tastes like, because I think most people have had that, but think buttery, a little bit of a green taste, very fatty, and maybe slightly beany, a little bit like a chickpea or something. That's our control. Next, we have this long avocado. It's got a long neck to it, smooth on the outside. It's not as bumpy as the Haas. And the seed also is pointed, but and slippery. Yeah, look at that. This, as you can see, does not look quite as fatty in there. It doesn't look like melted butter. It looks like it might actually be a little fruity tasting. This does not have nearly as much fat as the Haas. And it's also a little bit fruity. You know, I wouldn't say it's like super sweet, but sweeter. You know, I think this would be a good one to mix into like a smoothie with fruit. Yeah. The taste is very similar, but the fat content is what's very different with it, and also the amount of liquid in it. It's less of a milky taste, more of a watery taste. Next, this one here, and I don't know what any of these are called, by the way. One of the vendors described one of them as being a Chilean one as being a Dominican one, and another one being a local one. But actual variety, I do not know. This one, I believe, was the Chilean one. And from the outside, I would have thought that this would be another Haas, like a larger Haas. But from the inside, it's a little bit green. A little bit greener than you'd expect. So I think because of that, this is actually a different variety. I don't think this is actually a Haas. Oh, the seed on this one does not want to come out. The other two just like popped right out. Okay, here we go. Mind all the noise and Airbnb and the people next door are crazy. All right, so here we go. Oh, very different. This one is pasty. It's almost like eating like peanut butter or something. It's that sort of texture. It's less fattening than a Haas, but also less juicy. So it's a little bit dry to eat it, and a bit more vegetal tasting than the other two. So the texture is wild, like that's kind of interesting, but other than that, not my favorite. This one here was sold to me as a Dominican one also, and yeah, very round seed, very pear-shaped. Let's get that. I know a lot of people do this thing where they hit it with a knife and then they cut their hand. I'm not gonna do that. Just gonna pull this thing out. Yeah, that seed is like a little ball. It's completely round. This one's sweeter. You know, avocados are like not super sweet. They're like a 1 out of 10 maybe for a Haas. This one's maybe a 3, maybe a 2. It's like still not like super sweet or anything, but sweeter than you'd expect. It's a little bland. It's about as fattening as the last one, and the flavor is also similar to the last one, but it has a little bit of a fruit flavor, but like a dried crab apple kind of taste. It's like sort of like an apple, but not quite there. Just like a little hint of something in there that makes me think of like foraging a dried fruit from a tree. It might have something to do with this nice big brown spot that it has. Maybe it's a little over, but yeah, it's not my favorite. This very, very large one was also sold to me as a Dominican one, which made me think that this might just be a larger variety of the last one I just showed you. But when you look at the inside and the color of the flesh and the size of the seed and everything else, the shape of it, I think it might be a different variety. The big thing that makes me think that is that the color on the inside is very different. This one is obviously more orange than this one. So I think these are actually different varieties, but according to the vendor, Dominican ones. So let's pull the seed out. As you can see, this one's been germinating. That's probably why the seed is kind of coming off there. Alright, I'm just going to eat around that. This one's really interesting. It's a little hard on the outside, but I don't think it's unripe. I think that this is fine, especially since the seed is germinated. I think that's a sign too. Like, this is ripe. It's just very, very dense and very, very juicy. I'd say the fat on this, the fat content, is probably the lowest out of all of them. This one's really fruity. What I would do with this is take it, cut it up into slices, and put it on top of like a salad, or mix it into a fruit salad or something. I don't know exactly how to describe that fruit flavor, but it's not like butter. It's more like something that you would want to put sugar on when you eat it rather than salt. It's very different than a Haas. You might not want to use it the same way that you use a Haas, but the flavor that's there is quite nice. Almost has like a little bit of a sweet potato kind of flavor to it. So, interesting. It's big, it's dense, it's flavorful. This is a good one. This is definitely a good one. I would say if I were to rate these, number one, probably still need to go with the Haas. It's tried and true, it's good, nice fattening taste. I think that's the most versatile of them all. Doesn't have like the strongest flavor, but is really satisfying. Then I would probably go with this guy, the big one, because it's a very different taste, but if you like Florida avocados, like that kind of avocado, like a green one, it's a really good quality one. Then I would go with the long one right here. This one, I mean, it looks cool, for sure, and it's also like the middle ground between the Haas and the big one here. So, yeah, it's pretty well balanced. Then I would go with this one, the one that was sold as a Chilean one. It's dense, that's kind of interesting, but the flavor, not so great. And then I would go with this big one here. It's very similar tasting to this one, but does not have that density. And mine might actually be a little bit bad, so maybe I'm a little biased against this one. So that's pretty interesting. 5 different avocados, and each one of them is very different than the other. But I'm not going to go yet. I'm going to do what I'm sure any sane person would do if they had 5 avocados. Yeah, the only corn chips I have are these ones. They've got a very light barbecue taste to them. It's fine, it's fine. I was worried that mixing the more fruity sort of avocados with the more fatty sort of avocados wouldn't really work, that this would be too fruity for a chip. But it works, totally works. It's a little bit more juicy, and it's a little bit more fruity, but it is a nice taste. I think this is something that can be done. People do not usually use avocados like this in guacamole, but it does work, especially if you mix it with regular avocados like Haas Avocados. It just gives it a little bit more of a fruity taste, a little bit more of a juicy taste, rather than just being like pure fat. Either way, this is delicious. I hope you enjoyed watching me eat 5 avocados. Avocados can be very, very different. There's a ton of different varieties out there besides the one that we know in the US. And if you come across one, pick it up. All right, see you next time. I would like to give a big shout out to Smarter Every Day, Loftyrex, and JMac. They are mega patrons over on patreon.com. Patreon, I'm sure you've heard about it, but basically it is how I can afford to go on all the adventures that I go on this channel and how I buy all the fruit that I buy. So if you are interested in supporting the channel, check out the link in the description below. Another way to help out is by going to my website. My website has all my videos organized into categories, which is pretty cool, and I also have t-shirts for sale over there. So check it out, and I will see you all next time.